some reason.
Okay, the meeting hasn't started yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, we're on.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 1:04. And first off, let's approve the minutes from the February 8th meeting. Does someone want to make that motion?
I'll make that.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, so, we have a lot of really important things coming up. So, we're gonna be really busy, so, let's see here. I wanna first welcome our new members, Joanne and Jacob. Kept calling you Jason last month. And then we have on council's agenda, third reading tonight, where we're adding Kathy as well. But you guys are on, and, so you don't have to ask to speak now, you just speak freely, and, cool. Okay. So welcome, this is a fun group. Our first, thing on the agenda is Arbor Day with Madison Plains. So I will let, I know you were starting to explain something about the trees coming in and all that, so I'll let you go ahead and take the reins, Misty.
Okay, it's just the big pile of trees that will be ready, its pickup is on the 18th, the day before,
Great.
our event. Bill is gonna pick them up. For some reason, if he can't, I'll grab them. And,
Are they still saying how many that we're still gonna get? Is that the 500?
yeah, 500.
Yep. So, with that, we have two events that have those trees going to it. So we have the one on the 19th, the very next day, for the Madison Plains kids. And then we have the event on the 20th. Am I saying the dates right, everybody?
Yep.
Okay, and that is our first, Arbor Day Village tree giveaway, okay? So, what we need to do today is to really get our agenda hard and fast, know who's doing what and where to be and all that, because it's next month. We're in mid-March, so this is happening in April. And then, also we'll be talking today about our oldest tree and the community cleanup project around that. I've met with the pastor from the Nazarene Church twice, and, the cleanup day, I will tell you real quick, is gonna be a 3-day event, again, back to that. And, so we're hoping Madison Plains.
Can I add, that's what I was
Yes.
getting at. Okay, so, I've sent 2 emails to the administration. I also, at the Scholastics, they have a Scholastics thing that was over there a couple weeks ago, and I actually spoke to the actual assistant principal, so they sent it to someplace else. So I'm thinking I've attempted to make it 3 times. I was just gonna go ahead and reach out to Westfall, and see if we could get some of their kids to have it on a Friday. And, I just kinda feel like if they haven't responded and I actually spoke to somebody face to face, they still didn't respond, I think we probably need to look elsewhere. So if you guys are okay with that,
Well, I agree in that, let's ask Westfall as well, but I'm gonna reach out to Madison Plains again.
I agree too. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go to their board meeting. Madison Plains is having a board meeting tomorrow night, so I was gonna talk to some of them and see if they could. And if it goes nowhere, it goes nowhere.
well, I thought about sending it up the ladder as well, is what my other suggestion was, is, because they do have to have like a notice at both schools in case there's any testing or something like that. So I kinda feel like, you know, if we get it escalated to maybe the superintendent and see if he would respond.
Yeah.
But I know with at least 3, occasions and then a face-to-face, and it still wasn't done. I will say that I did, speaking with that person, the same person face-to-face, I got an instant email from the principal at the elementary school. So because now that Tom's not here, I wanted to make sure that we were still good with, you know, did the 3rd graders need any agenda? Did the teachers need the agenda? He instantly emailed back and said, yes, they are still on board with it. It's gonna be the same thing. They've already provided transportation. They already have it booked. So they're on deck for the April 19th.
I did send the principal the agenda, so he does have it.
Yeah, so I mean, he was instant,
Okay.
immediately. So I just think maybe one more time and we can send it up to the superintendent. Maybe you'll get some traction there.
Yeah, I'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be doing, the superintendent's gonna be there talking about some other issues going on, I know for a fact, so I'll talk to him.
Okay, so I did find, if we bounce back to the Arbor Day, I did find last year's agenda, it's pretty much what we thought. I have on here, 10 o'clock, students arrive. 10:10 is opening remarks, that was by Tom last year, but I don't really, yeah, maybe it was. And then 10:15 was our Pledge of Allegiance. 10:15 also, I read the official proclamation, which I have a copy of that here.
So are you gonna
then-
stick with that for us to print the agenda out, or?
Well, I'll see if we think we need to tweak it at all here. 10:17, I had Tom introduce Alistair for the Urban Forester Ohio Division of Forestry and Planting of the Trees, and Alistair did a little talk. Since Alistair's not been here the last couple of meetings, we gotta make sure that he's still on board with doing that. If not, we're gonna have to change that in the agenda. And then at 10:35, we took a picture in front of the banner. Now, we still have the banner,
Yes.
right? Okay, so I think, and then at 10:45, the kids mulched the trees. At 11 o'clock, they boarded the buses, community center for pizza pop and movie, and that basically started at 11:15, where they washed their hands. We distributed food, then the movie, and then it had a 1 o'clock dismissal. So that's what we had. I had a note on here, I put 9:30 next year, question mark. I don't know if we felt like we got a little rushed or anything. So that's, I don't know what the school, if they've been told 10 o'clock.
Is that what
I
you
have to
said?
go get the agenda. It was the same, exact same as last year.
Okay, so,
Besides, I took out, at the end of the day, like
Ice
when
cream.
we were done, I mean,
yeah, I didn't put ice cream in the,
yeah, I think
we
I
didn't have
think we
ice
just
cream in
left
this
it when we're at the
agenda.
movie, they were
Right.
ready to go.
Yeah, because we left custody of them basically after the movie, and then that was on Dairy Freeze, but, so students arrive, opening remarks. I don't really remember what Tom said, just maybe
Like,
welcome.
thank you for coming to Mount Sterling, and
Yeah, so, either we can have someone on this committee, or the mayor, or someone do the opening remarks.
I'd be pleased to do
You'd be
some
pleased to
opening
do it?
remarks.
Okay.
I was there last year, it was a great time, happy to do one this year.
Okay, so we'll
Sure.
let Andy do the opening remarks, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we need the American
10:15.
Legion there, yep. And I need to confirm that, I think I did, but I better reconfirm it. And then, the proclamation,
Are you gonna have Andy introduce you to read that, or is he gonna read that? How's that gonna go?
you know what, if you wanted, you could probably do the whole thing, unless you think it needs to be, do you wanna read the proclamation too?
I mean, I can, it's not a problem.
Okay.
It's a,
maybe you introduce the committee and just say, hey, these are the members of the
yeah,
committee.
absolutely, sure,
Yeah.
makes
Okay,
sense.
So we will do, Andy will do opening remarks. And then the American Legion will do the pledge. And then, we'll let Andy introduce the committee and read the official proclamation. Does that sound good?
Can you, when you're saying
Yeah.
this, can you read the times out so I can make it note?
Okay. Yeah, I could give you this whole thing if you wanted, but, okay, so 10 o'clock students arrive. 10:10 opening remarks by Andy. 10:15 Pledge of Allegiance. 10:15 Andy will do the intro, the board. And you can even tell Andy if you want that we're becoming a tree city, you know, whatever, and then read the official proclamation. Official proclamation's right here. And then, 10:17, I have that Tom, but we'll let Andy introduce Alistair. Okay, at 10:17. Now, if Alistair is out, then we might have to figure out a filler.
So maybe, because I think the last meeting I had in the notes was that he was gonna talk about the importance and how to plant trees. So I think maybe your little, remember how you said you were gonna offer some sort of instructional thing? And maybe somebody just reads that little instructional thing,
If Alistair is
if
out.
Alistair's not. He said the reason why he couldn't come today is he had a prior engagement.
But you know, I'm pretty sure when we set this date,
Yeah.
he was on board with it,
Yeah.
put it in his
Yeah.
calendar. So, and then 10:35 will be a picture. And last year there was one child, the teachers will let us know, but if we think to make sure that everyone has permission for pictures. And then, 10:45, kids mulch the trees. Now, we did learn some things last year, so we'll have to know where the trees are, we'll have to have the trees in the ground. But last year, we had this vision, we passed out all these gloves till we ran out, and then we had a few little shovels. I mean, I don't know if we wanna do gloves again and let the kids just throw. Hand do the mulch. The shovels were, cause then they were passing them and it was not real productive and it was,
Yeah.
so,
Maybe just get your hands in it.
yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm in agreement with that, okay.
Do we have gloves?
Gloves?
Yeah, I think we have some, remember the real small ones that we had?
Yeah, that I brought in, yeah.
I think if we like have some there and tell the kids if they don't wanna get dirty, but most of the kids are gonna wanna get, but, and they're gonna all, the teachers made sure last year they all went to the bathroom and washed their hands good before lunch.
Yeah.
So, we'll just take some gloves and if they want them, cool, if not, okay. And then that was, 10:45, the kids mulched the trees, so that was about 15 minutes. We had 2 trees going, so then this year, obviously, we gotta make sure we have 2 trees planted for this event. Now Cheryl, we're gonna need to get a couple of our trees, and then we're gonna need to get the guys to go in probably at least the day before to make sure they can get them in those spots that we show them. So I think we're gonna head to field 2. We were at field 1 last year, just moved to the next field. Because Arbor Homes didn't get them where we wanted them, so we'll put a pair where we want them, on each side of the benches.
Remind me what they planted, Arbor Homes,
They planted the silvers,
Sterling Silvers also?
yes.
Okay,
Now, we're gonna wanna plant a couple of different.
that's what I assumed.
Yeah.
And I did get a hold of some Sterling Silvers.
Okay.
We're bringing in 6 this year. We
Okay,
found 6.
alright.
And I have a list, only one copy though, of some things that are coming in that we can pass around. Different maples, those have green leaves that turn yellow in the fall, the Sterling Silvers. As well as they have a flower that is fragrant and bee factories. It's quite a pollinating tree. And there is like a red point maple, which is a narrow maple, crimson sunset, which is a purple leaf maple, a little slower growing.
Those are pretty.
And I was thinking, I'm always mixing up colors and textures and crown shapes and things when I'm designing trees and things. Cherries, ornamental cherry trees. The one that I really love is called Okami cherry. It's like 20 by 20, but keeping in mind no tree or shrub ever stops growing until it's dead. It has a white bloom with like a hot pink center to it. And it would be something that would flower and then they turn peach in the fall. Cherries only have about a 20-year lifespan though. That's the one thing about those. We have some red buds coming, a purple red bud, and forest pansies, which are 25 by 25. The merlots are like 15 to 20. We have some weeping willows, but it's not really quite the spot for it. We have some oaks coming in. Kwanzaa cherries, the big cherry that goes 30 by 30 with double pink blossoms, dense crown, really good for sun and things. So they flower and drop their leaves in the springtime. A flash fire maple, it's in a 3-inch caliber. Zelkovas, which are a fast-growing tree, and they're about 40 to 50 feet tall and wide. Beautiful bark that looks like camouflage as it gets older. The bark starts peeling. There's really nothing dirty about them. birches, different oaks. Armstrong Gold Maple. She is a narrower maple in the 8 to 12-foot range, but in the fall she goes red, green, and orange and yellow. So
Oh, that'd be
it's
pretty.
a gorgeous but a narrow maple. And this Crimson Sunset's new to us. But a purple one, they do grow slower than the sterling silvers. But it would add some beautiful purple foliage out there.
Well, I'll just say with our project at the park this year, where we're adding at least 8 trees, we'll have lots of opportunity to add a lot of this
We've
color
got
and a lot of.
some narrower.
I just think maybe up by the ball diamonds, I know the silver lindens, I think when we planted them, we were told like, plan on, I don't know if it's 15 feet?
About 20, 25,
I
yeah.
think we were told 15, but anyway,
Well, from the center of the tree.
okay. So, I mean, maybe something, with color but similar, but we had spoke, I believe, that we wanted 2 matching at each field. Like we have 2 silver lindens, let's put 2 of the same at field 2, and we'll put 2 different at every other field as we go. But, I mean, I don't know, your guys'
Shade was a
opinion.
concern too, I remember.
Yeah,
So we
we-
wanted to make sure something had
That's
an
reasonable.
umbrella of shade.
Yeah, and again, not a ton of debris, but in summer.
Trees should be arriving in the next couple weeks to our nursery.
Okay.
And I did get permission that we could have as much compost as we want.
Okay.
We just have to come up with a dump truck to
Okay.
get it and things, so that will be free to us as well.
Okay. So the compost is what we wanted to get on the flower beds, is that right? Okay.
And then different areas that we'll be planting,
Right,
if we upstage what's left over from the trees that Bill and Misty are bringing in for us,
right.
things like that.
Yeah, and, Andy, I think you were here at the meeting, but Tom had said that it probably would be something that the guys could do, take a dump truck to get the free compost from
And
the
pick up the
nursery.
trees at
Yeah,
the same time.
if it's up and running, yeah, I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
Okay. Cool.
We're in Plain City,
Okay, yeah,
outside of Plain, south of Plain City.
okay. Shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. All right, so,
We could probably plant them anytime ahead of that,
Yeah.
and then we could.
but she said they're not arriving for a couple of weeks
Right.
still.
They should be here in the next couple of weeks.
So really, when you get them,
Well,
you should give us a call and we should get something scheduled to come get a pair. If you could get us a pair now, you know, for this event, then that would be awesome.
How big would they be right now?
they're gonna be
10
anywhere
10,
from
12
2 to
feet?
3 inches in caliber,
Okay.
so you're talking anywhere from probably 10 to 15 plus feet.
Okay, all right.
And, they'll be involved burlap. If there's something off of our farm directly, most of our trees we started growing in tree bags.
Okay,
So we can lift them at any time of the year, instead of only in the spring and fall.
perfect, okay. All right, no problem. We should be able to get something out to see you.
Just thinking about the sterling silver trees, and I know we just planted one right out front here last year, or 2 years ago. I think we got that from Plain City. It was a gift to us.
It was maple, right?
What do you think about replacing that, moving that maybe out to the ballpark and putting a sterling silver out front here? Because if that's the village tree, to have it front and center.
I don't know anything about moving trees.
It's not, it's only been a year that that's been in, so it would just need to be dug a little wider and a little deeper than what it was installed. Typically the spring is the best time to do it. And then it's just like it's starting all over again, the once a week for the first 2 years. We don't receive an inch of rain to be watered, using the biotone to get it going again. And that's really all that is to it. Now, had it been there 5 years, that'd be another issue, but that it's only 1 year old, shouldn't be that difficult. We just need to do it gracefully and gently
Does it look like it's making it?
It looked like some of
Is
the
it-
bark had been
it-
scraped off to one side. I don't know
I'm
what-
just saying if it dies by some.
We don't want it to die.
No, I'm not saying.
I see her going out there and stabbing
Oh,
it.
yeah, exactly.
how much weed there is.
Cutting it with a knife.
That's, I'm just seeing if it
I've seen
happens.
shrubbery take that kraut.
Let's just forget I said anything here.
But I just thought that'd be a nice thing to have if that's gonna be the village tree, to
That'd be cool.
have it,
I think that they
What's your
purchased
thoughts
it
on
from
that?
us last year.
that one out front.
Uh-huh.
And
My,
that one they got from, Plain City gave that to
Mhm.
them. They went and took a class.
Because there used to be an old one that was there.
I
And it-
think that they came to us to get the trees that you guys learned how to plant.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
Now, I am no tree person, but I actually moved trees in my own yard.
Good.
And
So
they
you know
were,
how to do it.
yeah, so I have, mine was there for like a year. It wasn't very long. And you do, you have to maintain it. I put a tree bag on it and made sure that, I mean, I did it right, and I did ours in the middle of summer, and it lived.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good, because you paid attention to it.
Yeah.
Most people won't.
Yeah, so it's just
Well, I
making
have
sure.
some growing that I don't even want to grow.
Bring them in.
They're too big now.
So then could we get 3 of the sterling silver when they come to pick them up? Would
We
that be possible?
certainly could.
If that's okay,
Do
I-
you wanna-
what do you think?
my initial thought, if they're gonna be 15 feet long or potentially 15 feet, is we would take a, truck and trailer and go get them and tie them down with netting so that they don't blow away. So that's my initial thought is, anything that big you would need, you would wanna lay it down so it doesn't stick out the back of a dump truck. So we'd
Well,
wanna,
you could kind of put them up on top of the dirt and then just put a tarp on top of it. I was thinking that, but either way, and it depends again, you could pull a trailer by the dump truck
yep.
and accomplish both, and I've got a
Oh, so I'm sorry, you want a dump truck full of what now? Mulch? Compost?
And then the
Um, and then the trees. Let me get back to you.
Okay.
Our dump truck has only been recently recommissioned, and if it's that much, this would be literally a dump truck load, then I want to make sure it has enough range to go actually all the way out to Plain City and back. Otherwise, we would just do a pickup truck load
It's
full.
about
Better if it
31
just
miles
got
away.
fixed.
What are we gonna do the whole dump load?
Yeah, well, you'd put it out the service garage and get it as necessary.
Well, they were thinking about putting it at the gazebo, like that's where they were gonna spread it. Mark had asked that
Well,
question
that's
around
like
here.
dump loads that whole.
I mean, that's several tons, so that's a lot of mulch.
Dirt.
Or dirt, whatever, compost, whatever you would want to haul.
Or, come up and get it as needed.
Well, that's probably the better approach, is we would just take runs. The trees come first, and then we would do the runs
And
next.
the employees are here during the week, and that's when I
Mhm.
would have some landscaping crew on the
Perfect.
weekend.
Oh, that would work out, I think that would work out great. You know,
And I've got a huge tarp if the village doesn't have anything.
yeah, we want the trees to definitely have a nice ride home and not get blown around and all the leaves stripped off before you even plant them, so.
Because things are breaking bud already.
Oh, yeah,
around
oh, yeah,
us.
oh, yeah.
Daily, I see things.
It's early this year, so yeah, we're seeing all kinds of budding, and we'll have foliage before you know it.
Our first priority though is to get 2 matching trees
Mhm.
that would be appropriate by the ball diamond, and then possibly the silver linden to replace this one, if we can do all 3 at the same time.
That shouldn't be any issue.
Okay.
And, do you think maybe you wanna do oaks, or, I'm sorry, maples, something a little faster growing? And they're shade loving, provide shade, cause that we have autumn blazes.
And those aren't one that Alistair told us to stay away from, right? What was,
Silver maples.
silver maples, that's something different? Okay.
As long as they don't have roots running out.
They'll all be horizontal, but roots only rise to the surface when they're in drought.
Oh, okay.
Other than like a silver maple was meant to grow on the surface to
Yeah, right.
tribute
No.
and bend your miller blade.
Yes to white oaks, red oaks, swamp white oaks, magnolia, poplar, cucumber, magnolia, sugar maple, beech, no black walnut, no big seed pods, no hedge apples. Does that sound like something?
Not on her list.
Okay, all right, okay, so we need to get, prior to the 19th, probably as soon as you get your trees in, you need to pick us
I'll text
two,
for us.
plus a sterling, and then we need to get with the whoever, Andy, or, don't know if we'll have a new village administrator by then or not, probably not. But just to get that scheduled to come get them, and we need to get them in the ground. Jeff will help too out at the park, we can do whatever they need us to do, but usually they dig the big hole. And then, I know Bill went out last year and staked him up, cause we had some kids climbing on him. So I don't think that's a bad idea either, is to stake them up for the summer, because come summer ball games, the kids will start climbing on them if they're not, we found that out.
How did Jeff water the last ones?
Well, there's a well out there in one of those buildings.
Did we have one of the watering bags though?
No.
Do you think we should do that for those trees?
I would say probably so, like,
The thing
watering
about
bags
them
are-
is you have to keep them
Yeah.
filled.
So
Or
even if
they
Jeff goes
normally
out there and,
last, 'cause like I've heard
I don't
some
think
last
having
a
them
week.
filled, like, keeping them filled is an issue. Jeff would do
It
it.
wouldn't be an issue. If you just told him to do it, he'd do it.
Or once a week deeply to depth of 4 to 5 inches deep around the perimeter, the
You
root
just have
ball.
to say, leave this go for a half hour, Jeff, and he will, whatever.
And test it to see that you're getting that saturation,
Okay.
especially when it gets hot.
Sounds like we need the bag.
Well, I don't know, cause I've heard good and bad from the bag. I've heard they've even adapted them to where they have like little, like
Wait.
straws that go down to make sure they're getting the depth, like penetration, like I've heard some bags,
I'm not the
Or just
biggest
on top.
fan because they surface water,
you know.
which causes roots to rise to the surface to seek moisture. They're convenient, is what the thing is, and you have to keep them filled. But you want your roots to stay down, ideally, eventually they'll be at least 1 foot plus deep. And then these root balls on these guys will be about like this. And
Yeah,
whatever
maybe you
works
can come
best.
over too when they're digging the hole and make sure, cause I know you have some specific.
We'll try to coordinate
Yeah.
so we can do like what we did last year. Were you
Okay.
out there too for that?
I
And
don't
when it
know.
comes
You were
to
there.
watering,
Yeah, Becky was there.
if Jeff would show me what needs to be done,
Yeah,
I could
Do
help
it
him.
too. Yeah.
It'd be,
okay,
even if it's once a month,
right,
or once a week, or whatever.
Right.
I'd make sure that,
yeah, sure.
I could help. That would take a little bit off Jeff, cause that's the
Same
hard
here,
thing
it's
when it
like I
comes to
live right
watering.
there.
Yeah,
is-
yeah, I'm just, it's gonna get a little more, when we start planting trees further away from that well, it's gonna get
Yeah.
trickier.
That's kinda what I think she and I thought the bags, but like I get it, like
And
they're not
maybe, yeah,
the
maybe the
end all
bags
be
out for the
all.
ones that are further, but they
But-
still have to be filled somehow.
Mm-hmm.
you
Well,
know?
I was thinking, okay, so the little tank that he drives around on the golf cart, you can get a tank and he may have to fill it up a couple different times. But like, if he can't use the bag, I mean, the bag sounds like it's convenient, but you keep filling up that little tank in the back or whatever, and he can put a hose to it,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
you know.
it's fine, I
do
mean,
that.
we'll
The
figure all that
circle
out, we'll
works
just get them in
really
the
good.
ground, we'll figure it all out, how to get them watered, we'll just make sure it
I think,
happens.
did we get a couple bags last year?
I don't think so.
I sent over, I left a circle hose, so it could be sat around the tree, the circumference, and just kind of slowly.
I don't know, if you did, Jeff would probably have
He
it,
would
or-
know.
Yeah, he would know. Okay,
One
so,
more thing, Becky, cause I went
yes.
around last year when you did the event with the kids. So there's about 100 third graders, and we've got 2 trees, and they're all gonna mulch around the base. Is that enough to keep 100 kids busy? I wasn't there, or a few hover back that don't really want
There's a
interest.
playground there too.
yeah,
Okay.
it was, I mean,
Okay,
yeah, they get they do the other stuff, get their picture, and they're anxious to go to lunch. And they're anxious, they just each wanna know that they're throwed a couple hands full of dirt on them, or mulch, or whatever it is that we have out there.
They start to lose a little bit of interest after they're
Yeah,
finished.
but they
Like,
just
you know,
wanna
when there's
know that
nothing
they
else to
did
do,
it.
they don't have anything else to do but to play on the playground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is fine, that's what that's, because I know that's the worst, when you have a bunch of kids with nothing to do. So I
Yeah.
just wondered if 2 trees was enough to keep 100
Yeah.
kids busy, but in other words, those that wanna kinda do it,
right,
and then those that wanna play. Okay, that's all I wanted
yeah.
to make sure we had.
It's fine, and
enough for
again,
the
we
kids.
only schedule them, I think they only have 15 minutes
Okay.
doing it, so it's like everybody grabs some mulch and throw it on the trees
It's like
and,
line up and start
Yeah.
trucking, next person,
Yeah.
check, next person.
okay, so now that we know, another question, now that we know our little saplings are gonna be in time, the day before, do we want to scrap the little gift bags with all the trinkets and things in them, and just give them all a tree with instructions, you know, of
Yeah.
how to take care of this? It would be less work and less money
Money,
and less, but I don't wanna be presumptuous, so, but I think we are going to have to do something with them as far as either wrapping them in, when we present them to them. We don't wanna just give them a stick, because then that would just be a mess, so, yes.
I'm working on getting bags that, like the dispatch comes in on a rainy day.
Oh, the little plastic,
I'll know in a couple days if I've got access to those. So
Okay.
if that works, I thought that'd be great, just stick them down in there and maybe, yeah, I mean,
String.
Some newspaper, maybe some newspaper,
or a paper towel,
paper towel.
put some water on it, stick it down the bottom and stick that in there. That would at least get them through Saturday. So hopefully they would plan it that weekend. And if they don't, then it's.
well, I'm
Yeah, we
thinking,
tried. Thank you.
I'm thinking though, on the 18th, when they come in, we're gonna have to all get together, because we gotta get all the 100 wrapped for the kids, but then the next day, we're giving out possibly a couple hundred to the residents.
Right.
So we have to have them all prepped.
I don't think we have to prep them for the residents.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No?
I
Are we
would
just
say-
handing them a bare stick?
Well, I think maybe if we get some advertisement, or the messenger will write something for us. If they bring like a wet, hand towel or something.
You have really
Well-
high expectations.
They're adults as far
But
as,
Well,
the thing
that's how I
is,
see it.
even if, I mean, how many people are gonna come?
I know.
Maybe 9, maybe 10, maybe 30.
Yeah, but
who knows?
here's the thing, if
Well,
I were
how
driving
long-
by and I didn't know
Yeah.
anything about it, I'm pulling in to get me a free
I
tree.
think we
Well,
should do them
I just
all.
think it would be nice if they at least had the wet newspaper or the wet paper towel on the bottom, maybe tied with a
Yeah.
piece of twine or something, so they look like a little bit more of a presentation
And if
than
we do
just.
twine, we can, hold to the information card, how to plan it, and put that on there with it too.
Okay.
And I'm with Bill, like also
That's right.
doing, like a Facebook post too on like the town page. That way we can get as much coverage. And hopefully they get successful, not maybe 1 or 2 people.
I would like to, on the April water bill, talk about this, but just say the Arbor Day Community Tree Giveaway. Like, is it 10 to noon?
On the 20th.
Yeah.
20th.
Yeah, and then just have the time and, I think it should be there, I think it should be on Facebook. I think we should have a flyer that we make up and pass around to businesses to lay out. Yes.
So these are not only trees, but part of them are shrubs too. They're not all trees, so they're trees and shrubs
Well, maybe people with little dinky yards would prefer a shrub.
versus a tree.
Yeah, there's
So
a lot of
the
yards around here, I think.
Calicanthus is a shrub,
Mhm.
the buttonbush is a shrub, the silky dogwood is a shrub. I've gotta check the flame leaf for black sumac. The elderberry is also a shrub.
So you say shrub, a lot of people think of shrubs, but then I have a shrub that grows
Yeah.
huge.
Correct.
So,
Like the sweet shrub and the silky dogwood can easily go 10 to 15 feet tall if they wanted to. or they could trim it every year and keep
Maybe
it
we
at
should
6
put
feet
pictures
tall.
too, so that people actually
Yeah,
see what they're getting.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
And like say, okay, this
Nice.
one's the sumac one, you know, this
Yeah, it
one's
would
the
be
Dolce.
nice to
Because
pull
when
a
it's just a
picture and
little
maybe we
sample.
could, laminate it and just have them on the bucket.
And
Like-
I'm doing a little information sheet
What am I with that?
on each one too, telling them, you know, the height, the width,
I don't know about
what type of soil it likes, the growth on them, the leaf color when it changes in the fall, what the flowers are like, if it's fragrant, if it's edible, like the coffee tree, the leaves and the pods are poisonous to humans. So stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll try to get that to you soon, Misty.
Okay, like something like this, like on a little card that I can, put around each one,
Okay.
and you can say.
Let's go
this
back for
contains-
1 second. I know you stepped out of the room. I wanna make sure that everyone's in agreement. We're gonna scrap the little kitty bags this year. Not that they were great,
They
but they're a
were.
lot of work and I know a lot of money was spent on them.
Yeah.
So this year it's just gonna go to a tree, correct? Yes? Everyone good with that? You haven't ordered anything yet, right? And spent,
Seeds, flower seeds,
oh, we still have seeds.
if you want to, I've got like.
We can give 'em with a
Yes,
tree.
we can give a pack of seeds and a tree. I think that's awesome. And then we will give the little
This is what I
directions
came
as
up
well. So we're not, is that wrong?
Do you
What?
wanna know
Okay.
that?
I looked at you as you sat down, I'm like, this is all on you.
Okay.
I was just waiting for
I
her to
just
say.
wanna, now,
I think she's
last year, we gave the teachers a potted flower. Do we wanna give them a tree and a pack of seeds, or do we still wanna get the teachers a
Tree.
flower? A tree?
I
Tree and a
think
pack
they'll
of
like,
seeds.
they'd may get mad if they don't get a tree.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll give them all trees and seeds, okay.
And bus drivers.
And the bus drivers. Everybody's gonna get a tree and a pack of seeds. Okay, wanna make sure of that. Now, as far as the rest of this day goes, I wanna make sure that we have, we gotta make sure we find the banner and, get that put out. If we get it to Jeff, he can put it out that day or whatever. And then we also need to make sure the community center, pizza pop and movie. So, I know, I wanna say, one of your businesses
Yes.
is providing the pizza,
Yes.
okay? I have the Lorax movie, so I'll bring that again, if that's okay.
But did somebody contact the community center about reserving it?
I think so, but we
Okay.
better talk to him again. Talk to Megan. I know last year, we need to ask her as well. Last year, she added in like some,
Waters and,
she added in drinks, so
Mhm.
we need to see if they're gonna do the
Yeah.
drinks again. And then they also had like a little snack, like what are those Rice Krispie treats I think they had?
That's nice.
So we need to
And
ask
they got
Megan
candy bars?
to
I've got candy
Are you gonna
bars,
do
yeah.
that? That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, oh,
We
so
So
don't
I
I'll
will
just
do
in the tree.
I'll do the pizza and the candy bar.
pizza and candy from Sunoco, right, or whichever. Those are on Courtney, and then we need to make sure with, Megan that we have drinks and the building.
Yeah, that's important.
That would be, I thought we did that, but I don't know, we'll do that again.
They'd be crunched in here, but we could do it. if we had to.
Yeah, and then, is that it? Is that everything?
Making sure we have the drinks.
Now, over at the community center last year, and we'll make sure Megan does it again, they do the setup, cause they had all the tables set up with chairs around them, and then they had us tables going long ways where we put the pizza and stuff. So we wanna make sure that she still does the setup,
I'll
or if she needs
include the
help.
plates and the napkins, cause we need that.
I'm thinking, I don't know.
I can't remember that part.
So that's gonna be you, or ask Megan? They might have them over
Yeah,
there. Okay.
however it goes.
Courtney or Megan, okay. And then, is there anything we're forgetting? And they'll have the setup for the DVD player and the screen and all that, so we just have to make sure with Megan, set up tables and screen.
Yep, Jeff helped put the screen on.
Yeah, Yeah, we can go over and help do it as long as she has it all there. And okay. So, does everyone feel comfortable with, this is on the 19th this year. Everyone feel comfortable with the first day? So on the 18th then, as soon as Bill gets them, what do we wanna meet up here, and are we gonna wrap them with newspaper or paper towels? And then are we setting them in water then? Or do you?
We'll put some moisture on them so they'll need a little bit of moisture. They won't be sitting in water, but like spraying
Okay,
the paper towels
okay, and then.
or getting them wet.
I wonder if they're gonna come in like big 5-gallon buckets or something, you know?
I don't think they-
We've got whiffs, how big would that be? Like, so,
You'll probably get a clump like this.
okay,
They're in a
so
garbage
50?
bag
Yeah.
without water.
Okay,
they will be in garbage bags?
They'll be in garbage bag without water because it makes it easier to transport.
Sure, okay.
Once you get them home, you immediately put them in a bucket of cool water and store them in a dark place.
so we only have to
yeah.
store them for one day.
I would say,
It
what
clean
if
your
we
base more
just
than
had the
3.
paper towels in the bags? I mean, get the ones ready for the kids, but then for the community day, we can put the paper towel and bag them as the people take them. So that way they're still in the buckets for the ones that are left over. So that it'll be easier for us to do what we need to do.
Put them all
with.
back instead of unwrapping all of them again.
Yeah, that kinda makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Like
it'll
rather
be-
than getting like another 100 ready and then say 50 people show up, then we got 50 that
Yeah.
are
Okay,
prep.
so let's wrap like 120 for the kids, cause we have 100-ish kids with teachers, drivers, whatever. And then, I mean, as far as that goes, yeah, if we bring newspaper and buckets of water and stuff Saturday morning, we can do it as we go. I think that'll be fine. Okay, or we can either get together, if Bill brings them down on the 18th, we can either show up early, like at 8 AM instead of 10 AM for the Arbor Day event and start wrapping them.
Well, we ought to have all that time while they're watching a movie too.
Okay, so just doing the 19th that morning. Come on, guys, speak up. Or,
Yeah, as long as we have the volunteers, I mean, that's the other
yeah,
issue.
that's the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, I'd say if we're gonna do it as is that day, it's gonna be more volunteer intensive. Like, there's gonna be more of us needed to do it than if we just
Did it.
did it.
Okay.
But that's all up to,
But then it's one less trip for you.
oh yeah.
Yeah, if you
So
get them
just
on the
bring
18th, okay, let's go make a decision.
Okay.
You get them on the 18th, you get them down here early on the 19th, and we will meet at the park and do them all at the park around 8:30, 9 o'clock, or no?
Now, that kinda scares me.
A planner,
I
You
would
wanna do it
rather
at
Bill
8?
get them on the 18th and we're wrapped that evening by the 18th. We're ready, cause we've never done this. We don't know if it's
Right.
gonna take 20 minutes or 4 hours and 20 minutes.
alright,
And it could be pouring down rain that
Or-
day.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, we'll start over. You get them, you bring them here, and we're gonna all get together and wrap them, as many of us that can, okay? The 19th, if you can come, that's awesome, you know, there's, a lot in numbers, but the trees honestly will be planted, and this worked like a well-oiled machine last year, and it was our first time. But, as many of you that want to come, you don't feel like you have to come on the 19th, if we get this done on the 18th. If you're available on the 19th to come and watch the kids, it is a lot of fun. It really only took probably 4 or 5 of us to serve all the kids, cause we pushed around carts, and then we just made sure the pizzas, you know, and the teachers a little help get the kids to and from the restroom, so
Those kids were really good.
they were really good,
Yeah.
yeah. They were probably threatened to hit.
They had to been, because I've never seen that many kids.
Okay, so
and
the
one was
18th.
so behaved so
Uh,
well.
Does it say what time the 18th he's picking up?
It says from 11:30 to 1:30, and anything past 1:30 will not be held. But it's also up to Bill if he can make it clear down here, I mean, that day, I think push it up.
As far as I know,
Okay.
something happens.
As if something
That's a
happens, Misty's
Thursday.
backup.
What time do you wanna meet us here?
Depends on what, I don't know how long the line is to get them, I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
cause it says after
So-
or not after 1:30, but you
But we
never
all
know.
live in town
Might be
and
back.
close,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, so,
Not a big
So
deal, I
he
can
can-
take them home with me and do them if we need to, right?
You can call me, I can
We're
help
gonna
you
do
out.
it.
well,
Yeah.
we put 'em- if
Do we
we've
wanna
got-
do them at the park or here at town hall?
Here at Town Hall.
You got one in
Well,
here?
just, I think that makes sense, cause like she said, you're right. Like,
Okay.
we need to have like a full.
Town hall
okay.
on Thursday when you get back.
So
We'll
we're,
plan for early evening.
oh,
Not like,
whatever you wanna do, I mean, I can bring them right down after I
Yeah,
pick them up.
but
in the
if you're
morning.
in line till 1:30, you know, it might be 3 before, I don't know.
This is in south end of Columbus, so I shouldn't take too long to
Okay.
get here.
That's a good one, Bill.
Okay, so think about then late afternoon,
Like
1,
2 or
2
3.
o'clock, 2 o'clock?
3-ish one.
2 to 3 o'clock, that's,
Okay, let's plan on 2,
okay.
2 o'clock. We will meet at Town Hall on the 18th. And then if that changes, Bill can send out a text to Misty or Courtney or me, and then we'll send them out to everybody else. Cool? Okay, and that is to do trees. So we need just some twine and some, paper towels,
I was thinking rubber bands,
Okay.
larger rubber bands.
okay?
And then that would hold the little, information sheet about whatever
we don't
you're
want them to
picking
get
up
wet.
to. It can go on the outside.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then just put the rubber band on it.
Okay.
So if my deal doesn't go through and I cannot get those bags, what's our other choice? What, do you have any ideas, Cheryl?
The Ziplocs,
Or
Ziplocs.
you like the expensive?
Well, that's saran wrap.
Well,
Like
saran
saran
wrap
wrap's a
would
little bit
too,
cheaper.
you,
Just
Um,
tear off
you
the
can get
strip
a
and.
big thing at Walmart and then, or at Sam's Club, just put it in there and put some water in it and then put a rubber band and then the little information sheet on it.
So on whips, how long would the roots be? How far up would,
Well, you've got some trees and you've got some shrubs, so they'll probably differ
okay,
in size.
so 6 inches? 8?
They could be anywhere from 6 to 8,
yeah.
cause these gotta be at least a year old.
Yeah, when we got them the one year, they were probably like that, they were real thin, but they were probably about like that tall.
I thought she said 2 to 3 feet, including the roots, I think.
All we're
So that
really
was-
concerned about is keeping the roots moist.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. I think that would be
Well-
fine. We can wrap them in newspaper, paper towel, and then if saran wrap if we have to, if you don't
You know
get the
those little
bags.
4-gallon trash bags? If you get the Great Value brand, you can get quite a few for, I think I just bought $2.88. I can't remember if there were 20 or 40 in there,
okay,
but it wouldn't be ungodly.
okay, well, I'll check, let's,
Yeah, if that falls through, I don't think that would be a bad
okay, yeah. So,
alternative.
Gallon size, yeah,
Because, you know, those little, just 4-gallon, that would hold quite a bit of roots, but I
oh, yeah.
But I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it'd be better than saran wrap, don't you think, if there was actually something underneath
At the bottom, yeah.
at the bottom
Yeah.
with moist paper towel or newspaper inside?
Saran wrap, you could always just fold it over and then have it, filled at the
Had to.
bottom.
But-
If that's the what,
Yeah,
but
I
that
think,
sounds
I
very
agree. I don't
good
think the
too.
bags would be too expensive. I mean, we might have another 10, 20
Just go over to
bucks.
Wraps and see how much he would charge, or Dwyer's.
I can get some bags. You don't like.
Just remember, you guys have money for operating,
Okay.
you know, it doesn't have to be all donation.
So we'll just, want me to just go next door and get the bags and the twine?
Is
Well,
I
no,
know-
we're gonna wait and see if he gets them.
Oh.
Because Bill has donated a lot,
Well, he might get
is why I say this.
newspaper bags, like the dispatch.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
what-
those would be
Next week,
perfect
yeah.
if that
Yeah,
works
well,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't get those, let us know, and we'll make sure we get some Ziploc
Okay.
geese. Not a problem. Same way with twine. I know I have a ton of twine, so let's not buy any.
Rubber bands,
And
just twine.
rubber bands. I have a bunch of rubber bands too.
Do you?
Yeah, so, yeah, grab your rubber bands, but I have a whole sack full, I believe. Okay, anything else with the 19th? Okay, so then on the 20th, now I'm hearing everybody say that we want to maybe have buckets that have a picture of whatever it looks like, so we need to, somebody needs to Google and download pictures of these 10 types, and then maybe, I know Misty's laminated things, she could laminate them, and we could attach them to the bucket, and then when people are looking, they're like, oh, I like the looks of that, that's really pretty. Now, you are gonna have some
A little instruction
instructions.
sheet, both on
You're-
planting and on the plant itself.
And you're gonna have that for the kids and for this day. Okay, so now if you need copies made of
I
that,
will.
okay, then you can get with Misty and she could get some copies made, right? Okay, and then, so we're gonna have buckets with pictures on them. I think we should have, like we did with the giveaway of the leaf bags when we did that, just maybe a little sign-in sheet, just so we kind of can capture how many people participated
They
and,
get more than one tree that
I would say absolutely.
Well, so here's my thing, so if we're gonna put in the messenger, and we're gonna put it on Facebook, a lot of these people live outside of town, like, are we like strictly, this is for townspeople only?
My opinion
Or
is it's our
this-
community.
Or is this
I feel you.
town and surrounding?
Town and surrounding is my opinion. And
Get
if-
out your ID, we wanna see where you
Well,
live.
you
You
don't
don't
wanna know.
qualify,
Well, my
move
thing-
on.
My thing is like, say we do 100 trees and then say only 10 residents get trees and everyone outside town gets the other
That's,
90.
that would be in a scenario where this really
Oh, I
catches
know.
on and becomes a big event, then we'll have to deal with that up, down the road. But for now, let's give away as many trees as we can. Let's have our notebook there about becoming a tree city and why trees matter. Let's have,
Well, I think this would be a good time to educate the community on the committee itself.
yeah, I mean.
Like, 'cause I think a lot of residents, they don't really understand what any of the committees really do,
Yeah.
or
Well,
their
this
purpose.
would be just, this trees and beautification, and,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe we, you know, we can talk up whatever we want, we can talk up upcoming volunteer opportunities for the cleanup day if we want, while we're at this event on the 20th.
Yeah.
We can say, hey, if you
Have a
wanna help
sign-up
us.
sheet.
Yeah, have a sign-up sheet if
People
you
to
wanna come help, you know, I think it's the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th of May, you know, maybe have a sign-up sheet
This
there.
is what we're planning.
Yeah.
And definitely more than one,
Yeah.
I mean, 50-50 chance that whether they make it or not,
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
Well, you know, again, a new event, like we thought for the leaf pickup, I think we allowed them to have 5
Mhm.
each person, and then we had more call on, can I come back and get more if we have leftovers? And we did have leftovers, so we allowed that to happen. I think maybe we do set a parameter of,
Only 3 in the first hour or something, just so we don't run out,
I
or,
think, you know, cause
Yeah.
you don't want someone to come up and take
or
40.
like 12, or,
You
yeah.
know, so I think we should have a number that we'd like you to take 3, no more than 3, or no more than, cause most people have a yard, they're not planting them at the park or anything like that, so whatever number you guys feel comfortable with, 3, 5,
10, I mean, we have 375 left.
So I better maybe do
Yeah, and
1
if we-
tree and 2 shrubs.
So what do you do with the leftovers, like
Oh, yeah,
after?
yeah.
Right.
Let them
You
pick
don't wanna
what they
kill
want.
them, you know?
Well,
Yeah,
I-
I'd say maximum of 10, I mean, I don't.
I think the leftovers, I mean, April the 20th, and our event cleanup day is May the 3rd, 4th, 5th, okay? I think any leftovers, we should think about planting,
Like donating
At the
them
park.
to, or,
No.
okay.
planting more trees at the park.
I thought you were talking like community cleanup day, like if people wanna.
Well, that's another
do
idea.
Instead of
other
clean
things.
your yard
That's what
up,
that's what I thought you were going with that, but
I
yeah.
mean, that's another thing, people that are out volunteering, saying, you guys wanna take a tree home, take a tree.
Aren't these, trees supposed to be like planted in a bucket for a few years before going into the ground? or-
Not necessarily.
We
If you're
took
planning
ours
to
home.
upstage them, you know, that would be one thing to have a more sizable tree to work with later on. But the whips, as long as they're not accidentally mowed over or stepped on,
Yeah.
should, you know, do well unless a deer decides or a rabbit decides to come and
Yeah, we
munch on them.
planted ours straight into the ground, and it's still growing, it's still little, but it's still growing.
we gonna save some of them to make the village tree garden?
Well, I think that was another idea that we had said, we were gonna grow some trees into bigger trees, like take up to the garage and plant in buckets.
Right.
So yes, I think we should still do that.
And there's some beautiful things that are coming on that list.
Yeah, so I think we definitely should keep some back for the tree garden at the garage, and maybe plant some at the park, maybe offer some to other volunteers. But, so that's why I think 10 might be a hefty number, because honestly, to plant 10 trees in your yard, for most people that have a yard, that's a lot.
The
Well,
trees
most people
are
in the
big.
village don't even have a yard big enough to accommodate.
10, right. I think the number, in my opinion, should be 5 or under, you know, but I'm not in charge, you guys. It's all your,
Oh, but you are.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's just, the thing about it is that when people get them, do they have enough time to put effort into it? Because it does take a while to water, and then here's the other thought that I have as well, is that, you know, if they're taking 5 and everybody has issues with the water bills as they are now, sometimes you're promoting, I mean, that's the other thing I think about as well.
Yeah, we'll
Is
we'll
you
make
do
sure
have
you get more.
A lot of people are gonna be using the water,
Thank
and, you know, they're saying, oh, here's the trees.
Oh, I know, like
Realistically,
Arbor gave it, like,
doesn't ever make it anyway.
oh, I know, like.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's crazy, cause like, okay, so Arbor gave us all our plants when we built our house. Our tree died, they replanted it. I
I
got a
think the
shrub that I've got.
Ringers on Misty, somebody's at the window.
Oh.
It's like I've got a shrub that just died over the winter that I've gotta replace. It's like, I get what you're saying. It's like, you gotta water a lot of this stuff. And
Yeah.
even if you think you won,
Yep.
you might have lost over the winter.
right. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
is everybody in agreement with that,
Not with the stuff he gives you.
do we wanna go with the number 3 or the number 5? 5?
I think so too.
5? Okay, so that will be, you're allowed to take up to 5, okay? That will be our thing, and this is a 10 to noon event, is that correct, everybody? Okay, 10 to noon on the 20th, and we'll get it on the water bill. I will see if, this will maybe make up a little flyer too, that we can spread around the businesses. And then I can do a Facebook post if you want me to about it. Does that sound good?
I can work with Misty on the flyer.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And
And
the third graders 10 to 1.
third graders are 10 to 1, yes.
Okay, okay.
And,
Did you wanna extend the meeting? I know we got a couple minutes.
yes, it's, 2:02, we only have 2 minutes, so can I have a motion to extend the meeting another 10 minutes? Motion by Cheryl,
I'll second.
okay, Jacob, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, good. 12 minutes now to go, okay. So, we just said, Misty, the only thing we said when you left is we're gonna put our Arbor Day tree giveaway on the water bill, okay?
Got it.
You and Courtney are gonna work on a little flyer that we're gonna get copied, and we'll spread them around to businesses in the next couple of weeks to have everywhere for people to see about this event coming up, okay? And then I will do a Facebook post about it, okay, so that's how we're gonna advertise that one. We're gonna meet, on the 20th, to set up. Now, do we wanna set up just on Town Hall lawn or over at the gazebo? We did the tree giveaway on Town Hall lawn.
I say we keep it at town hall.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do Town Hall lawn. Basically, all that really needs done, we'll need to set out our buckets of trees, make sure we have all of our information, maybe.
Do we have like a tent or something we can put up that might
We
catch
do.
eyes?
Yeah, we have a tent,
Mhm.
we'll put up a tent. So maybe if, we can be here around, it starts at 10, if we can be here around 9, get our tent popped up and our chairs out and our buckets out. Sound good? 9 o'clock on the 20th?
For the water that y'all put the trees into, it wouldn't hurt to have it like a day old, just so the chlorine and things settle in it.
Oh,
It can cause, especially young exposed roots, an issue. So like day old water would be helpful.
So you want us to get a bucket of water on the 17th?
Yeah, just set it out and, I can bring over the bucket.
Like bottled water.
Oh, that's a whole bottled water.
No,
I
like
mean,
the
we've
big
got
jug.
those big 5-gallon buckets at house. I'll just have Jeff fill up a couple buckets of
Yeah,
water.
like the day before.
Okay.
That way the chlorine and things settles. It
Okay.
can be a little harsh on roots like that.
So
So
we want
that
a
is
separate
on
bucket for
the-
each type of
Not
product?
necessarily, and then you'll wanna change it while we're holding the water.
Well, we
Change
will
it
need
daily.
separate buckets
Because of the pictures.
because of the pictures for each, so
Okay.
we'll need 10 buckets
I can get you some.
for these trees. You can get us,
Yeah,
Melanie's gonna
I
get us.
have like flower buckets that, like Carter's has their,
So like the big
Yeah.
5-gallon-ish
they're
buckets
not 5, they're probably 2 gallon, but yeah, they'll be perfect.
will be tall enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, Melanie's getting the buckets, I'll get the water, and
Or we can fill them
you'll
up
get the
here.
trees. Yeah, we'll fill them up here. We'll just bring out all of our supplies here.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll have the water sitting for a day. I'll bring rubber bands. Rubber bands. Paper towels. Melanie with buckets. And you're gonna, between, you guys are gonna take care of the pictures of the flower laminated to attach to the buckets?
Yeah, of course, you can do that.
And I know Cheryl is doing the instructions.
And the descriptions.
Okay, all right. So we're good with that one? Okay. Last but not least, Arbor Day, oldest tree, community cleanup day. Okay, yes?
No, I
Oh.
was waiting for you.
Okay. The church loves the idea of having another project, the oldest tree kind of thing. So now, last year with a little bit of our last money, we bought a chainsaw and some things. So we're gonna need to go in and start cleaning up around that tree. Now, the church said they would be more than willing to help whatever we want them to do. He had said something about a piece of equipment, and then he said he didn't want any equipment around the tree, killing the tree or anything. So I think it'll all be hand equipment, saws. So if any of you or any of your friends wanna bring chainsaws, rakes, loppers, any of that, gloves, anything for that day project, cause we'll need it out there, cause once that brush starts growing, and by May, it's gonna be growing.
I was starting to think about this, so we don't get too over, like, go crazy, is, we need to flag off now while we can still get in there without it being overgrown. Flag it off what we want cut away.
Well, I'll tell you what
And what we
DP&L
wanna-
does, is they take like a can of red or
Oh, yeah,
orange spray paint
or
and
that,
just
yeah.
hit everything that needs cut
Oh,
down.
yeah, AEP just did that to a bunch of our.
Yeah, so I think that would be the easiest thing is, so the volunteers aren't cutting down
The wrong
wrong
things.
things, that we just get a couple cans of spray paint and mark them and start going ham on that.
What's the
Okay.
date on that, Maggie?
So
That-
when Alistair's here,
Yes,
can we get him
to,
to do that?
So I
we
can
can-
mark out the.
oh, yeah,
I don't think there's anything under there that we're keeping except that big tree.
right, but,
That's but
yeah.
then,
yeah.
it's been a
But
while.
maybe he could just say how far deep to go from it, you
Yeah.
know?
It'd be the circumference of the canopy.
yeah.
The roots
But-
have gotten
But then
up to
we'll need a
that
path too to
circumference.
get to it, but it's probably, like, I know if you look in your own yards, like right now is probably a great time to start chopping stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, we're gonna be almost 2 months more down the road.
Yeah.
So, but that is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so the event now is Friday the 3rd of May, okay? Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th. Now, I have a meeting with the church again next Monday, but if we have specific projects, that we want them to do. Also, remember, we have those other trees, if for some reason we wanna get those in the ground during that weekend.
Mm.
We'll have more hands on deck. You know, we could get the guys to dig holes ahead of time or whatever, and then we could get the church and other community volunteers to help get all those trees in the ground if we wanted.
You kind of start the depth, you work on the width, because each root ball can be different, and you never want to go deep.
Well, the way Phil talked to me about it is they've got 2 or 3 good landscaping company, like people that are a part of the church, that's all they do is landscape. So, they have people that know.
And it would be good for Jeff to kind of, he has a good understanding now of how to do the process.
Yeah. So, I guess we need to decide on those other 6 trees, cause we're gonna use 2 and we have 8, right?
I think we should definitely put some around the walking path.
I think we should
Well,
too.
roughly, depends what
Eventually,
sizes
I think we
have.
should too, I just didn't know if we wanted to finish off the ball diamonds so they all have 2, you know what I mean, to keep,
How many
make sure-
diamonds
Well, I
are
guess
there?
that's what I was
there are
wondering.
5 diamonds now.
Okay.
Okay, there's 4 that are operational, and if any of you have driven by the park, there's a huge $12,000 pile of brick dust sitting out there for the other 5th field, so that will be operational this year too. So, so we'll have 5 fields operational, all of them but 1 have the concrete pads poured, and we need 1 more set of pads poured this year for the, and we're still trying to sell some benches to get them all filled in, but, I agree, we need some around the walking path, we'll need benches eventually around the walking path and things. My fear is if we don't finish,
The ball diamonds.
you know, I hate to
Well,
get distracted and not,
are we gonna use the park as like the tree garden? The reason why I ask is cause like I know in the Parks and Rec meeting, it's like we wanna bring on soccer, and if we plant trees, say, where a potential soccer field could be one day, like, you know what I mean, we kinda have to plan around that, like,
well, right, and that's why I don't wanna just plan them randomly, I really wanna have a plan. I mean, around the ball diamonds, you're safe, around the
Oh, yeah,
walking
yeah.
path, you're safe. You don't wanna take a big open field and plant
Oh, no.
trees in the middle of it because of that same thing. They might put a pickleball court there, they might put soccer there, you know, we might have our dog park right there, so, we might have a pool or a splash pad there.
When we win the lottery.
You can't have water.
Well, we can on the other side. I think you guys are all gonna be excited when you see, where the biggest tree is, because it's another piece of land that's gonna eventually be attached to the park that could completely be developed too. But we have to go over the waterway, so we got a lot of work ahead of us for that, but it is exciting.
Do you want me to speak with you directly on the tree selection?
Yeah.
Okay, you and I'll keep in touch with that,
Okay.
because they should be rolling in, and I just want us to get the nicest
Yes, for sure.
trees.
Okay, so I only have a couple more minutes, so as far as community cleanup day, I know we have one more meeting before that happens, but, if you're at home, whatever, and you wanna write down, if you could think of little projects, like getting the trees in the ground where they should be, you know, cleaning around that one thing, the oldest tree, that one thing. Or if you think, oh, we really need to get some more flowers out at the entryway or something, if you think of any projects that you think would be nice to get done during the 3-day cleanup and beautification time, please write them down or email, but, you know, we have one more meeting before it actually, yeah, so, anybody have any other questions, concerns, comments?
Do you know right off around what time the thing is where we become part of Tree USA? Is it March or April?
No, it's May.
Okay, then never mind, you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about it.
well, it is important, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
did Tom,
Tom?
did we get our registrations?
No. So that's what I was gonna ask is, like, does anybody know who to reach out to?
For us to,
Yeah, we should be
well, I mean,
getting registered by
I'll
now.
print something off, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Well, we need to put our names in, like, how many.
Okay, I'll send that out. Does everybody wanna go?
okay,
Is everybody
well,
going?
I wanna go. Okay, so what it is this is in May 9th, and it is when we will officially become a tree city. We will be getting recognized for the first time, we'll be getting our flag for the community to put up. So it's a big deal, but every year they have this conference, they recognize, we'll be recognized last year with like that as year two, you know, but this year is a big year, cause it's our,
Not even really that.
huh?
We might have done that.
But, but anyway, and you eat lunch, and we had 2 speakers last year that were real informative, and they also tell you how to get, bonus points with your Tree City, you get, I don't know, what.
So you get recognized with the big banner, so when they pull into Mount Sterling, it'll just say, you know, Mount Sterling is now a Tree City. So it is sort of a big
That's a
deal
big
that we
deal.
all didn't know about.
I know I'm
So
going,
like,
no
are you
matter
talking
what.
about like the little fence thing that we have? Like,
No, so
we'll
they,
be able to put it on that?
no,
or
they provide us with a banner and a
Alright.
sign.
Banners,
So what it
flags,
basically is,
signs.
you go there, you get to have a great time, you get to speak to other municipalities
There's a
that,
lot of free giveaways, there's those little,
And there's
not,
There's food and.
there's
Sign us
food,
up.
you can get some seeds they give away, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
people
nice.
that beautification
you
things,
talk
they
to
give
other
samples.
people, municipalities.
Yeah,
So it's a networking
it,
event.
it's a networking
Yeah,
event, but
that's good.
anyway, it cost, last year, bless you, I believe it was $35 a person, I believe our tree committee paid for it.
Yep.
We did get a T-shirt, I don't think there's a T-shirt this year, we may get some other little trinket.
Alistair said it's like changes every year.
Yeah, right, so, is everyone interested in going?
Yeah, I am. So.
Okay. So I'll just put us all down for going,
Tom
But you
wants
guys
to
have to-
stay part of our group.
okay,
He didn't update his email with you, so he didn't get the,
well, he should've came to the meeting, where is he?
yeah. No, he's actually with his granddaughter,
Oh.
babysitting
Okay.
today.
Okay, so, but we need to find out about the registration from
I'll get
Alistair or Tom, but it should be probably in, I mean, we should know about it by now.
I'll get it from Alistair.
Yeah, okay, we'll get that, and
Send
then,
it
get us
to-
all registered. And
Okay.
the only other ones
So
we'll
they
have
don't
to
have
check
shirts
with,
for sure?
I know, I don't know,
Oh,
but
it says
Alistair
what
just
size
said
you
it
guys
changes.
want.
Oh,
And I'll
okay.
go ahead and register you.
We can just he didn't say anything about the
Yeah,
shirts.
send out an email if there are T-shirts.
Just get the information and then Becky and I will
Yes,
gather the
ma'am, I will do
sizes.
that.
Okay, anybody else have any questions, concerns, comments? You guys are, okay, well, thank you so much for coming, and, this really does matter to the community.
It is cool.
You know, it's rewarding to look around and see your work blooming and everything. So we'll get that compost going. I know, the church did say they are going to do, mulch again, and a combination. I'll have a meeting this week with the Chamber of Commerce. We sometimes give money for flowers. I know there's other sources for money for flowers. You know, the church said they buy flowers too. So, you know, I think if we all work together, it's just gonna get better and better, so.
The,
we're really
the
grateful.
handouts that I gave you, this thing,
Yeah.
is really neat, because there's some, like, if somebody asks you why trees, I mean, you've got.
I love it.
I mean, it really gives you some good
Educate
info.
us to educate them.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was really nice of you, even though I didn't get one.
Yeah, well, if it just secures, I gotta print one for us.
Yeah, can you make sure that the doors close on the
Yeah.
Did we have a
There were
park
these last-
year?
yeah.
Did we have a what?